All right, so we're going to dive deep into the psychology of revenge. And our guide for this little exploration? None other than Edgar Allan Poe's absolute masterpiece, The Cask of Amontillado. Because this is so much more than just a classic horror story. It's this incredible and kind of chilling psychological case study.
Right out of the gate, our narrator, Montrezor, gives us this chillingly clear mission statement. Now, the key word here, the one you've got to hang on to, is impunity. See, for him, it's not enough to just get even. Not at all. He has to get away with it completely. No consequences, no comeback. This one single-minded goal, it's literally the engine that drives this entire dark tale.
So where does a perfect crime like this even start? Well, it begins right out in the open, in what we'd call the conscious world. The setting is the carnival season. Total chaos, non-stop parties, everybody's wearing a mask, and that right there, that is the perfect cover for a very private and very meticulous plan of destruction.
Okay, so let's break down the key players here. You've got Montrezor, he's our calculated avenger. His target is a man named Fortunato, the poor guy who's apparently committed 1,000 injuries and one final insult. Now, Poe never tells us what the insult was, but that's the point. The motive is vague, but the plan? The plan is anything but. And the opportunity? Well, the wild, disorienting energy of Carnival provides the perfect camouflage.
Okay, and this is where our analysis really starts its descent. I mean that literally. The physical journey from the bright, noisy streets of the festival down into the dark, silent family catacombs is way more than just a change of scenery. It's a symbolic journey into the dark corridors of the human mind. We're going from the conscious world into the deep, hidden parts of the unconscious.
I mean, the contrast between these two worlds couldn't be more stark. Above ground, you have the carnival. It's chaotic, it's loud, it's a place of social performance where everyone is literally wearing a mask. But then you go below ground, into the catacombs, and it's still. It's silent. It's a place of death. This represents the raw psyche, the place where all the masks finally come off and true intentions are revealed.
So you have to ask yourself, how does a mind actually construct a crime like this? Well, if we look at it through a Freudian lens, we see Montrezor's plot isn't just a single evil impulse. Oh no, it's more like a dark collaboration between the three core parts of his personality.
Here's how it works. You've got the id. Think of that as the raw, calculated malice, that primal, animal urge for vengeance. Then you have the ego. The ego is the architect, the planner. It's the part that manages the fake smile, the facade of friendship, and plots every single step to ensure survival and success. And finally, you have the superego, which provides the moral justification for this whole horrifying thing.
Now, here's the crucial twist. Montrezor's superego isn't your typical conscience, the little voice that tells you, hey, maybe don't do that. Instead, it's an external, inherited code of honor. It's the voice of his ancestors, and it's demanding that any insult to the family name must be met with absolute, unquestioning retribution.
And here is that code, spelled right out in his family's motto: no one attacks me with impunity. For Montrezor, this isn't just some old saying on a family crest. This is a direct command from his superego. It's the ultimate permission slip, turning what is basically a personal grudge into a noble, familial duty.
So Montrezor's plan goes off without a hitch. It's flawless. Fortunato is chained, the wall is built, the revenge seems absolutely perfect. But just as he's achieved his victory, the first cracks in his psychological armor begin to show. This is what Freud would call the return of the repressed.
Just listen to his own words. After he hears the final, desperate jingle of Fortunato's bells, he tells us his heart grew sick. And his immediate explanation? Oh, it's just the dampness of the catacombs getting to him. A perfectly rational physical excuse. But is that really what's going on?
Well, psychology offers another explanation. It's called a somatic response. This is when a deeply suppressed emotion, like, say, overwhelming guilt, actually manifests as a real physical sensation. That sickness in his heart isn't from the damp air. It's the first bubble of his own repressed conscience boiling to the surface. He achieved impunity from the world, but he couldn't get it from himself.
And if you need one final damning piece of evidence, here it is. 50. That's how many years have passed between the murder and the moment Montrezor is telling this story. 50 years. Just think about that for a second. Why confess? Why recount every single detail a full half-century later? A truly successful revenge would be over, forgotten. It would provide peace, closure.
The fact that he's still compelled to speak of it suggests the memory hasn't been a source of satisfaction at all, but a ghost that has haunted him his entire life.
So, what was the ultimate psychological cost of his so-called victory? There's a powerful analogy that I think perfectly captures the self-defeating nature of his revenge.
Okay, picture this. Step 1, the serpent bites. That's Fortunato delivering the 1,000 injuries. Step 2, the heel crushes. That's Montresor enacting his perfect, crushing revenge. He wins. The snake is dead. But then comes step 3, the fangs remain. In the very act of crushing the snake, its fangs break off, embedded deep in his own flesh. The snake is dead, but its poison, the memory, the guilt, is now inside of him, ensuring that the wound can never, ever truly heal.
And that's really the crucial takeaway here. Montresor thought he was just sealing Fortunato in a tomb, but what he was actually doing was sealing a part of himself in there right along with him. He entombed his own guilt, his own humanity, behind that wall of bricks, forever shackling himself to his victim.
And this leaves us with a final, haunting question to think about. He achieved his perfect revenge. He punished his enemy with impunity from the outside world. But in doing so, did he simply trade an external prison for an internal one, becoming the ultimate victim of his own inescapable mind?